Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 4, I believe, of our Let's Play. Today, we're not going to be doing much playing, just going to be walking around the PvP. If we happen to get into a fight, then I guess we're in luck. But otherwise, I'm just in here with a natural, and I'm going to talk about a couple things about the server. Some things that I personally believe should be added to the server, things I know about, things that people have been talking about. So, let's get started. Let's just go out here, Andrew. Alright. Oh, Simple D. Maybe we can get. Oh, no, he has an iron sword. But right here is where I want to start. This whole thing that's going on here. The main thing about the server is PvP, and the the way this server works right now with having all these guys in a faction and having end bases and nether bases, what have you, having a big map. It just is very like here's why I want a map reset, and here's why I've been posting on the forums. I know Natural agrees with me, right? Right, Natural. It's just the map is just too dry now, and I know there are a lot of people that don't want the map reset. It's eventually going to happen. I'm not saying it should happen tomorrow, next week, whatever. I'm just saying that eventually it needs to happen because this map is just too dry. I mean, look at this spawn. Everything's destroyed, and you really can't find people's bases. I mean, look at this. Watch this. I mean, just using Renegade as an example, look at all the members they have, and look at the power. They have 490 max power, 417 right now. It is impossible to raid people. It is impossible for new players that join the server that don't have any connections here and any friends. 'Cause, I mean, Renegade didn't join the server with all these people. They made these friends, alts, whatever, along the way, and or along the way, or inviting them from other servers like LC, whatever. But like the new players just are at a huge disadvantage. Not only because all the old players have a lot of armor and god apples and potions but the end bases that we have, the nether bases that we have, the money we have is just so much more than anybody else that joins the server can possibly reach because we prevent them from getting to it. It's just impossible to raid. And I mean, this is a faction server. A big chunk of what factions was made for was for the ability to raid. And right now, with the big end bases, it just really is impossible to do that. I mean, me and Natural come from servers, even for his old server we used to play on that had about 5 members on active. We still got it a couple raids per day, right, Natural? I mean, like, even Natural's an admin on the server. I'm a mod on this server. And we even agree that like we understand because it was the first map. Like, believe it or not, in one map, somehow, well, obviously, this this server has just been so great that it has been able to reach this. There's 125 players on right now, and during the week or like during late at night or whatever, or midday during the weekends, the server fills up, and that's amazing for only being around for a single map. That's a lot of thing. That's something that not a lot of servers can say. And it's obviously because it's a great server, but I think that you can. This server just has so much of a higher potential if it increases its ability for raids to occur, for PvP to occur. I know people like Pillager Python, Assassin, Awkward Penguin, all really good PvPers that see the server as a really good server, but it just gets to a point. Every server gets to this point, no matter what server you're on. You can be on the greatest server in the world, just like this one, but after a while, it just needs a reset, and it needs some changes to be done. You have to learn from. If you're not learning from the previous maps and the previous things you've done, you really won't get anywhere, and the server will just kind of stay flat, and we'll stay with our 200 players. But I know that Four and Preston are more ambitious than that and want to get more players and more good players on the server, more competition. So what me and Natural thought of was something that would really change this server, and it's a smaller faction cap for players. I mean, when I talk small, we're talking 6, 8, maybe 10 if if we're looking for more of a balance compared to this current time. Um, I think that the 8 would be the best. 80 max power. That's not a lot of power, and it allows for raids, and I think that's the fun part. I mean, half the fun of this game is rebuilding after you get raided and trying to keep yourself safe while getting raided. And it makes people make more creative bases. And that's another thing with the bases. We're trying to keep bases out of the end, make only the mainland accessible, and even make that area probably, excuse me, make that area like a war zone or something. But like it is now. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a war zone now, isn't it? Isn't the end a war zone or the mainland, right? Okay. So yeah, I mean, like just keep it like that and keep all of the bases in the main world. I mean, I think that a 4K by 4K border would be big enough to prevent like just constant raiding, but at the same time um, support the ability to have a chance to raid somebody because having bases in the end is just so massive that it's really impossible to raid anybody. I mean, natural, how hard is it to raid someone in the end? Yeah, I mean, it's just like this server is just so great, but after a while you've reached your climax and like a reset to me is really something that is more ambitious than keeping the server up because it's showing that you have confidence that your players trust the server and will stay on the server. And that's another thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, someone's just going to quit the server because we restart." Well, that's not very sensible of them because they're leaving a server where they will join another server. Like, let's take I don't know. We're gonna use fake name Cloud PVP. I'm pretty sure it's not even a server, but I mean, you leave this server and you find the server called Cloud PVP. You go on it, about the same population, maybe 150 to 200 players online. But their map's been around for 3 to 4 months now, and you're going on the server as a new player, and your challenge now is to fight the same thing that's going on here, to fight guys that are just been around for a long time, are well established into the server, and you're not going to have as good as a chance. Either way, whether you be going on a new map or joining a new server, you're going to be rebuilding. The only good thing here is that everyone's going to be on your same level, besides the guys that donated for kits and stuff, which they donated for them, they deserve them. And also, you're going to have staff that people that you know on the server, not just the people in your faction that would leave with you, but I mean your allies and your enemies that you know well. A lot of all that stuff's going to be taken away, and it's just not going to be the same anymore. So, I mean, I know that all of these changes are big changes because this has been a very, um, player allowing server. A lot of players can do what they want. But I think that if we restrict a lot of things, then the PvP on this server will greatly increase. And that's what I want. I mean, I don't like having all the prot that I have. It doesn't really, it's not fun for me. I mean, I just don't like having in my chest. I believe I have like I don't know 40 IV chest plates, maybe 26 leggings, a lot of boots, a lot of helmets, what have you. And I don't want that. I mean, I want to struggle. That's what's fun about it. I mean, I want to know that someone has my cords and that they're standing outside of my base. Maybe not in it, but I know that like people just have the opportunity to raid me. I have to watch my power. I can't just go out and troll like I usually do and go down to negative 10 power and not have to worry about it. But I think it would be fun. A lot of people would say, well, you have the 8 players, whatever, but people are just going to ally. Well, if you don't know these people well enough, you'll be surprised to see what happens when you leave factions, stuff happens, fights happen, even if you talk to each other on Skype, shit happens, and eventually your ally from the last map ends up being your enemy. And also, if you even if you do separate the factions, it probably isn't smart to share bases, because if I kill enough people in one faction, I might have the opportunity to raid both. So it's still going to make raiding is still going to be available, even though people might just ally each other. I mean, I just think that's going to be a lot more fun than having three big factions going up against each other. I know that almost everybody in Nemo agrees with me. I'm not an alt agrees with me. Natural agrees with me. HLG agrees with me. Bladed agrees with me. And I'm sure that people like Assassin and Pillager and stuff like that agree with me. What I want to know is like what the new players of the server think about this. Not necessarily the older players, but what the new players would think about having possibly a better chance to establish themselves on the server and fight more for what they want and kill the bigger players of the server easier and raid them to take all their stuff and have some fun with that kind of stuff. That, or we can keep this map. We can keep or reset the map and keep the rules that we're going. And sometimes people like having the big factions, and that's cool with me. This is just kind of an idea that I thought of. Me and Natural talked about it, and I didn't make a forum post because I mean I make videos, so I think it would be easier for you to just to watch the video, listen to what I had to say, than me write 30 paragraphs on the forums. So I mean, a couple things to end with. If you like the idea that we had with smaller factions and smaller borders and no end bases and such, then just comment on the general discussion post on the forums or comment on this video, like it, what have you. I also want to know. I also want to hear from the newer players. So if you're watching this and you're a newer player, just talk to me about what you think about it. And I also want to know if you guys like watching me give suggestions for the server and just talking during a video, not necessarily having a big goal. Even though I will make more videos with me PvPing and such, but that's to come. This is what we got for now. So just tell me your opinion on all of this. I'd really like to hear some feedback. Natural would too, as he's an admin. He obviously wants to hear what you have to say about this. So it's a big change, but I think it's cool. Let's hear from you guys, and that's about it. Peace.